Hey gang, welcome back. Let's continue on with our case studies. We'll go through case study 8.2 and 8.3 today. 8.2 is just a special order. It happens a lot of times in business, right? You get this giant order, you've got a facility that's booked up already. What do? Do you make the order for the special order and push your regular customers back? Or do you take the order and try to work things out? Maybe work a little overtime, maybe we pull a few strings and get that customer order out. So the case study is about Western Control Systems. It's the company you work for. You have a chance to sell some M-class control systems to a customer called Skippa, right? And you've been trying to get this customer for a long time. Hadn't worked out. Finally, they come to you. You got a chance to sell an M10 to Skippa, but again, the problem is that you're fully committed. You don't have time. You don't have room. How's it going to work out? So this company, Western Control Systems, gets together and they're having a meeting. They're trying to hash this thing out to see if they can keep everybody happy and hopefully satisfy the customers. So the book asks you 4 questions about this case. It says, what are the customer issues that sales and marketing must address? And what issues does a master scheduler have to address? What kinds of input and assistance will the master scheduler need from sales and marketing? And what inputs will the master scheduler need from logistics and finance? So again, you are kind of pretending you're the master scheduler here, and you've got to keep everybody happy. And a big part of this case is it just takes a lot of people. It's a decision. It's a consensus decision by the company, right? It's not a decision that one individual unit makes for you. So the number one question the book asks is, what are some of the customer issues that sales and marketing must address to ensure that the disruption caused by the special customer order is justified? Well, you got a new customer, Skippa. Is this going to be an ongoing relationship? Is it a one and done? Is this going to help you grow? Is it a strategic order? And what happens if you do take this order and it's a one-time shot? Are you going to make money on it? Is it a dog? Those are the questions sales and marketing has to ask. How bad do they really want this customer? So it comes down to that. And what issues does the master scheduler need to consider with respect to materials, capacity, and workforce constraints, right? So what's the master scheduler going to do? Well, first they're going to find out if they're going to have materials so it's physically possible to make this order. Can they borrow parts from some other order to make this order? And what happens if you replan an order? What are the customers going to do? You need to call them and somehow make a plan with your other customers that you're not going to be able to do it. And what kind of, are you going to have to work overtime, or your workers going to do it? Are you going to get this order and it's going to disrupt your morale so much to where it hurts your company long term? So that's 2. Number 3, what kinds of input and assistance will the master scheduler need from sales and marketing in scheduling the special order? Well, you probably need sales and marketing to help you call, customers, the other customers that are in your schedule, and say, hey, we're not going to be able to make it. They need to know, what's the customer request dates, what's the firm date. If you miss it a couple of days, is it going to be some kind of financial penalties? Or, what kind of incentives? Is there liquidated damages if you don't deliver on time? Those kind of things. So that's number 3. And what inputs will the master scheduler need from logistics and finance? Well, is this going to require logistics needs, air freight, inbound air freight for parts, outbound for the shipment, and what kind of incentives are you going to give the customer? And finance want to know what the profit margins are going to be. And what are the strategic benefits? So for the new customer. So that's what kind of questions finance are asking. So, it's a group decision. Happens all the time, or not all the time, but quite often in manufacturing industries. And the main thing to get out of that case is it's a group decision. Everybody makes it together. And you got to cover all your bases. So the next problem is case study 8.3, and it talks about it's a distribution question right here, a distribution network right here. So it talks about it's APC is the company, and they have just a little background about this case right here. They're going to ask you to do a lot of stuff about this. ABC is a multinational consumer packaged goods manufacturer. It has regional and local distribution centers, has retailer and wholesaler sales channels, and it distributes to customers at central warehousing, regional distribution center, local distribution center, and retail locations. It's got 3 major product families. with the products throughout the product life cycle. Remember that? You got intro, growth, maturity, and decline, the product life cycle. And the rate of new product introduction is high. Orders are received from distribution centers and customers via Salesforce, electronic methods, call centers, and point of sale technology. So you can get orders from your distribution centers or kind of like a point of sale type of thing too. So that's APC. And the book asks you to do a few questions on this one. It asks you to draw a diagram of APC's multi-level distribution network. So they simply want you to draw, you get your manufacturing facility, and you got, and I'll post this for you so you don't have to kill yourself doing it, but the manufacturer, you got central warehouse, you got your regional distribution centers, local distribution centers, and then you're shipping that out of your control to your wholesalers. Wholesaler is another company, right? So you're selling that product to a wholesaler, and you're also selling it to retailers on one side. So you've got, as a manufacturer, you've got your central warehouse, your distribution centers, and your local distribution centers. That's all under your ownership as a manufacturer, but you're shipping on one side to the wholesaler, and you're shipping on the other side to the retailer. So that's kind of how your diagram might look. It's just, you've got a box for each facility, and then you're drawing a line to what facility you will be shipping to. So, and I'll post that. It's easy to see. But some more questions. In which sales channel, retail or wholesale, is APC more likely to have access to point of sale information? Well, you're probably going to have it at retail, right? Because retail is actually where you're going to make the sale to the end user right there. So, again, if you should have point of sale. When someone buys a product from you, that information should be generated back up through the system, and you should capture that information at the manufacturing facility or headquarters of the company you work for. So APC is the name of this company. So the answer to that one is at the retail locations. And 1C, which of the inventory stocking locations in the multi-level distribution network can be included in APC's DRP system? So theoretically, you could use DRP, distribution requirements planning, for all facilities if you can get your retailers and wholesalers to cooperate with you. So, if you remember DRP, you've got it works just like MRP, right? It's a demand. So you've got someone pulls demand at a wholesaler. Well, that demand should be generated back up through the system. Maybe they have a safety stock, and then a shipment would come to replace that sale if it was below the order point at the wholesaler. So it could be either retail or wholesaler for that. Question 2A, explain the value